ॐ वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। साक्षात्कृतं दयानन्दं परमार्थस्वरूपिणं तत्त्वज्ञानप्रशास्तारं प्रणतोऽस्मि परं पदम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ नमो भगवते वैवस्वताय मृत्यवे ब्रह्मविद्याचार्याय नचिकेतसे च। Mantra number 10, first chapter, third section, 10th mantra. Just quickly go through all the mantras. You will chant and also I'll explain as somebody has asked some doubts on these mantras. You can repeat after me now. Indriyebhyah parahyarthaha arthebhyascha param manaha manasastu para buddhihi buddhiratma mahan paraha atah paramavyaktam avyaktat purushah paraha purushanna param kinchit akashta sa paragatihi esha sarveshu bhuteshu gudotmana prakashate drishyate tvagraya buddhya sukshmaya sukshmadarshibhihi
मया सूक्ष्मदर्शिभिः
यच्चेद्वाङ् मनसि प्राज्ञः
मनसि प्राज्ञः
तद्यच्चेज्ञान आत्मनि
ज्ञानात्मनि
ज्ञान आत्मनि महति नियच्छेत्
ज्ञानात्मनि महति नियच्छेत्
तद्यच्चेच्छान्त आत्मनि This is a mantra we are looking at, and let me quickly recap from the mantra number 10, not much in depth. Already we have covered those mantras many classes in depth. These mantras, they reveal Atma. These mantras reveal Atma. And Atma, where is it located? Atma, where is it located? Atma, which is as though enclosed by a shariram. Like the Akasha as though enclosed by the Ghata. Can you enclose an Akasha by a Ghata? Akasha is all pervasive, space. But it is as though enclosed by the Ghata. There is no difference between the Ghata Akasha and the Akasha. Akasha being same, the Ghata, the walls of the pot, as though encloses the space. In fact, a house is nothing but space only. A house is nothing but a space only. A space enclosed by four walls is called a house. And in the modern days, people, they build flats, they live in flats, first floor, second floor, 20th floor, 25th floor. What is the 25th floor? In fact, they are living in space, the space which doesn't have any base. They don't own any land at all, really speaking. They are just living. Where is the land? They are not living in any land. They don't have any land, really speaking. The people who live in the 20th floor, they just live on the space. Below them, somebody lives. Below them, somebody lives. So all the way. So, therefore, as the space, as though enclosed by the Ghata, similarly, this Atma, which is all pervasive, Sarvagataha, Atma, Sarvavyapi Atma, as though enclosed by the Shariram, and because of that, the Shariram is conscious, and this, the Chaitanyatvam, the borrowed Chaitanyatvam from the Atma, because of that, the body is conscious, it is alive. In this body, the all pervading Atma, where is it located? In fact, it is located everywhere, but it is recognized in the Buddhi. It is recognized in the Buddhi. Buddhi is not really the location, spatial location for Atma to reside. Buddhi is that where Atma is recognized. So we can say in the conscious Buddhi, Atma is located In the conscious buddhi, the Atma is, because of the conscious buddhi, the Atma is recognized. If it has got only the spatial location in the buddhi, then how can the Atma all pervasive? So Atma being all pervasive, it is all pervasive. It is pervading the entire body, outside the body also. But Upalabdhi sthanam asti, that is buddhi. That is the buddhi, the mind. Let's say it is the buddhi, the mind. And the objects are there in the external world. The objects are there. Small objects, big objects. You see a huge mountain, so big. This huge mountain can be seen in your mind. In the Antakaranam, you can see the mind. The object doesn't literally enter into your mind. It is not possible. No object can enter your head, whether it is small or huge. Even if it is a coronavirus, small virus, or a huge mountain, it cannot literally enter your head. But only a subtle form of it enters your mind. Only subtle forms of the objects enter your mind. Therefore, compared to the objects which are physically located outside, the objects that are visualized in the mind, they are more subtle. They are more subtle than the sense organs, indriyas, which objectify the objects. Which objectify the objects. So, the objects that are which are in the mind, they are sukshma. Sukshma compared to the senses themselves. And the object of the senses, it is not as subtle as the mind. The mind accommodates them. The mind is subtler, sukshmaha. And mind also, mind is that which reports what the sense organs perceives, and also which entertains doubts, which entertains some desires, emotions in the form of worry, anxiety, concern. This is what the mind does. But this mind is not as sukshma as the buddhi. The buddhi is that which holds the mind, the reins of the mind that we have seen in the imagery, Ratha imagery. The mind holds the reins, the buddhi holds the reins of the mind. The mind can entertain any fancy, but buddhi has the rein. It can either go with what the mind thinks, what the mind fancies, or can dismiss it. Buddhi has that capability. So compared to the mind, which is subtler, buddhi is subtler. Intellect is more subtler than the mind, which entertains all the doubts, emotions, fancies. This is at the individual level. If you stop at the individual level, that is going to be a problem. Then we cannot appreciate the recognition of the Atma being all pervasive. If you stop at the Veshti level, it has to be extended to be identified with this Jagat Karanam Brahma. So therefore, from Vyashti, there is a jump to Samashti. Buddhi, individual buddhi, the buddhi at the individual level, Vyashti, now it is connected to Samashti. Samashti is the unmanifest Hiranyagarbha, the Samashti buddhi, which has got everything, which has the seed for the entire creation, which has the seed for time, space, etc., out of which the entire prapancha has come, stula prapancha has come. So sukshma, the sukshma, samashti sukshma buddhi, which has the seed for the stula prapancha. That therefore Hiranyagarbha is as that knowledge, all knowledge. Knowledge means buddhi. So from individual you are connecting to the Hiranyagarbha, which is samashti, all knowledge, from the limited to an unlimited. The limited individual to the total, a jump. So because individual is not separate from the total. If individual is separate from the total, then it will result in Dvaitam. And to understand Dvaitam, we don't have to study Shastra, because that is a reality. We know that is a reality in the Vyavahara. That is our perception in the Vyavahara, not the reality. That is the reality. I mean, that is the understanding, as though it is it's a reality because of our Vyavahara. So Dvaitam cannot be the Tatparyam, cannot be the truth. If Dvaitam is a Tatparyam of the Shastra, then we don't have to study Shastra, because already we know. It is understandable through our Vyavahara. Without, if Dvaitam is not there, then no Vyavahara is possible. I am there, another thing are there, many things are there. I am there, Jagat is there. I am there, Ishvara is there, Bhagavan is there. So Dvaitam is there all the way, in spite of Dvaitam. In spite of Dvaitam, what we say is there is Advaitam. To understand Advaitam, we don't have to dismiss the Vyavahara. Vyavahara which has Dvaitam. The Dvaita Prapancha you don't have to dismiss. You cannot reduce the Dvaitam which is in Vyavahara to appreciate Advaitam. It is not, you need not do, and it is not possible also. So Advaitam in spite of Dvaitam. Advaitam in spite of Dvaitam. Advaitam at the Paramarthika level, Dvaitam at the Vyavaharika level. If Dvaitam is not there, no Vyavahara, empirical transaction, not possible. I cannot speak, you cannot listen. Speaker must be there, and listen must be there for the speaker to speak, and the listener has to hear. Two things must be there for any transaction. At least two things must be there for any transaction to take place. I feel hungry, I must have food to eat. Dvaitam. I am there, the object of eating is there. If I am the food, what will I eat? The Vyavahara. But ultimately it is what it is. I am not different from the Annam. Brahmarpanam Brahma Vehi. Brahmagno Brahmanautam. Brahmaivatena Gantavyam. Brahma Karma Samadhina. That is from the absolute standpoint. That is the understanding level. So, therefore, in spite of Dvaitam, Advaitam. If Dvaitam is a Tatparya, then we don't have to study Shastra. Because Dvaitam I see, therefore the truth is Dvaitam, that is not correct. And also, if you say it's Advaitam, therefore we have to reduce all the Dvaitam to Advaitam. We have to reduce all the Dvaitam to Advaitam. That is also not possible. You cannot do that. So therefore, how Advaitam is to be understood and appreciated in spite of Dvaitam. In spite of Dvaitam. If everything is Advaitam, therefore Bhagavan is everywhere, everything is, there is nothing other than Brahma. Advaitam alone is, yes, Advaitam alone is, because Advaitam alone is, therefore you cannot stop transaction also. You cannot stop your transaction. For your survival, Dvaita Prapancha, Dvaitam is important. And because Dvaitam is there, important in the Vyavahara, it doesn't mean Dvaitam is Satya. So this is to be understood. Somebody asked Puji Swamiji during our course, the night satsang, he asked a question. Everything is Advaita. Brahma is alone is. Ishvara alone is. Ishvara is everywhere. Ishvara alone is, and Ishvara is everywhere. Brahman alone is there. Then why should we go to the temple? This is a question a person asked during satsang time. And the person did not write the name also. Generally, when you ask a question, it is, you have to take the responsibility of the question. Therefore, the questioner must write the name. That is the discipline. The questioner did not write the name. If you don't write the name, means you don't want to take the responsibility of the question. If the name is there, at least the teacher can answer the person, because the teacher knows the person, maybe personally also, and therefore is understanding also. Therefore, he can answer. But this person did not write the name also. He just wrote anonymous. All these things Puja Swamiji will watch. Then the person said, why should we go to the temple? If Advaitam alone, if we understand everything is Brahma, Advaitam, everything is Advaitam alone is, then going to the temple is not required. Does it required? In fact, he did not ask, does it require? Why should we go to the temple? Its tone is that the question, the tone of the question is like, it's like that, why should we? What is the need to go to the temple? As though it is useless. This was the tone of the question. By just reading the question, Swamiji got very furious. In the satsang itself, he got very furious. He said, this is why I don't teach Vedanta to everybody. There should be an adhikaritvam to study Vedanta. If adhikaritvam is not there, it is useless to teach people. You don't have to go to the temple. Don't go to the temple. You don't have to go to the temple. Just go and sit outside the temple. People will come and break coconuts on your head. This is what he said. And this is what, and he also told, if the person has written the name, at least I would have answered the person properly. The person also has not written the name. He doesn't want to take the responsibility of his question. If the name is not there, then sky is the limit for my scolding. And he kept on scolding that person. Whoever the person, nobody knows. Even I don't know who is the person till now. Everybody was silent throughout the satsang. Till the end of the satsang. After that, Swamiji conducted satsang and he answered many questions. But till he got up from his seat and went to his room, in the lecture hall, he was just scolding that person. Why I'm saying this, going to the temple, it is not that appreciating Dvaitam. It is in spite of Advaitam. Appreciating the all-pervading Ishvara. Therefore, you go to the temple. Temple is there and you don't go, it is an insult. It is an insult to the all-pervading Ishvara. Therefore, that is what the intention of quoting this incident. Therefore, Ishvara is there everywhere. Ishvara is Advaita Brahma. And therefore, to connect from the total to the absolute, from the Vyashti to the Samashti, the Hiranyagarbha, and then this Hiranyagarbha, which is all knowledge, which also has its support, the basis in the Purusha, in the Satya Purusha, Sakashta Saparagatihi, in that Purusha. So this unmanifest Hiranyagarbha has its basis on the Purusha. And is there anything superior to that Purusha? Purusha is Brahma. Purusha is Purnaha. Sarvam Purayati iti Purushaha. Purayati iti Purushaha, which is complete, adequate, unlimited, infinite. Purnam. Is there any superior to Purusha? There cannot be. That is why you cannot improve upon it. You cannot improve upon the truth of Advaita. Advaita is the truth. You cannot improve upon it. You cannot improve upon the limitless. And that limitless is you. Therefore, you cannot be better than what you are now. You cannot be better than the fullness which you are now. You are that Purnaha. This is what these mantras convey. Starting from the objects which are observed in the mind and connecting all the way up to the Purusha, which is unlimited, which is Purna, and that is what you are. So, you, the Atma, is not different from the Brahma, which is total, which is complete, limitless. And therefore, even if you want to be better than that, it is not possible. Even if you want to bring it down, bring yourself down, that is also not possible because it is what you are. The Vastu is limitless and everything is dependent on that, and that is you. That is the ultimate end. So, and if that is what is the ultimate end, then how is that people don't recognize the reality of oneself? The Shruti also has the same question. If Atma is unlimited and it is taken to be the separated, small, isolated one, if that is the reality, then there would be nothing you can do it. This isolation of oneself, the alienation of oneself, that will be your very nature. If Atma is different from the total. If it is different from the total, then there is all the pain, the struggle, that will be the nature of you. That also you cannot remove it. Because there is a possibility, there is an attempt to remove it, the dukkham, samsara, because there is an attempt to remove that which is not desired. Therefore, that cannot be your real nature. You are Purnaha. This is what the Shruti says. And this knowledge, it is covered, Gudaha, this Atma, which is all knowledge, which is Gudaha, covered in Ajnanam. One doesn't know that I am Aham Purnaha. This subject object is myself, Aham Purna Atma. It is not understood because it is as though covered. The division of subject and object, the division of inside and outside, the division, that is, in spite of the division, Aham Purnaha. Aham Purnaha. In the beginning, you need to have the Shraddha on what Shruti says. If Shraddha is not there, then you will try to fix up this problem. You will try to fix up the problem, and there always will be a fight, and the subject always will try to make a compromise with the objects, and the dukkham, the complaining about the world, the complaining about the people will continue, and you will be a continuous hunter for the sukham, happiness, security, etc. So you will continue to play a victim because Atma is not understood, not known. So the solution to this problem is understanding the limitless. The sense of limitation has to go. In fact, it is not limited. In fact, it is not limited. There is a notion of the sense of limitation. There is a notion of the sense of limitation. The problem itself is not there. There is a problem. The problem itself is not there. There is a notion of the problem. Therefore, because there is a notion, and therefore Shruti also, in the beginning, as though it goes along with you. It goes along with you and appreciates the problem, and finally say there is no problem. Fine. The Shruti reveals that what you want all the way is the person whom you love, that is yourself. And you discover that person to be yourself when you are in a moment of joy, when you are pleased with yourself. That pleasing self, that is what is you. And that is, since that is not understood, the self is always pleased. The pleased self is what is me, that is not understood. And sometimes, occasionally, that pleased self is recognized, so you feel occasionally complete. And since that it is not, that is my nature is not understood, therefore problem. And to understand the identity, to appreciate the identity of the that Aham Brahma Asmi, I, the individual, is not different from the total. To understand and appreciate this identity, the oneness, what you need, how can you understand this? You can understand this only with the buddhi. Only buddhi, jnana chakrusha, we say, through the eye of wisdom. Through the eye. The eye is the third eye. The third eye is a jnanam, and that jnanam that can be seen only through the buddhi. If buddhi is not there, then that cannot be appreciated. If buddhi is not there, buddhi is required all the way from the receipt of the teaching till understanding, analyzing, and focus on the subject matter. All the way the buddhi is required to understand Tattvam Asi, that Mahavakya. To understand that, buddhi is required. And the vision of the Shastram is seen through the buddhi. So therefore, the buddhi has to be very subtle. The buddhi should be able to, should be capable of seeing this truth. Therefore, buddhi is very important. That is why in the mantra, this mantra number 10, 11, after taking the individual from Vyashti to Samashti, and further the next mantra says, this Atma Gudaha Asti, and this is seen by the buddhi. This is seen by the buddhi. Drishyate tu agraya buddhya sukshmaya sukshmadarshibihi. Only with the buddhi, Samskrita buddhi, Samskritatma buddhi, by the buddhi, which is capable of seeing this, appreciating this fact, only that by that buddhi, this is known, this is appreciated, this fact is appreciated. So buddhi is important. This buddhi is at the individual level. So buddhi at the individual level is very important, and it has to be prepared to understand the truth. So you can see the connection from the individual to the samashti. It happens at the buddhi level. From buddhi, Vyashti buddhi to samashti buddhi. So all the way reducing from objects to senses to mind, and then to buddhi, that is Vyashti buddhi. And this buddhi is very important because from here, from Vyashti only, the jump happens to samashti, and therefore this buddhi, through this buddhi only, you can understand and appreciate the truth. And therefore this buddhi has to be prepared, Samskrita buddhi. And by that buddhi only, Sukshmaya buddhya drishyate, prakashate iti. And one more point here is, in the previous two mantras, mantra number 10 and 11, how from Vyashti to Samashti, this inquiry has happened, and the truth, Purushaha is the ultimate reality. It is appreciated. How this inquiry happened. In fact, this is the real inquiry. This is the vichara. This is the Atma Vichara, self-inquiry. Otherwise, what is self-inquiry? Who am I? How will you inquire? Who am I? How can you inquire yourself? That I, how can you inquire? Shastra tells how to inquire. how you start from the objects, how you go step. This is the inquiry. This is the self-inquiry. Therefore, we say self-inquiry is not possible without the Shastram. Otherwise, you stuck up at I. The I has to be inquired. How do you inquire the I? What is the method? Shastram tells. Therefore, without Shastram, Atma Vichara is not possible. And this mantra 10 and 11 is very important mantra. In that sense, it teaches how to do the inquiry. And having done the inquiry, then you see the fact, you appreciate the fact. And this is called Nididhyasana. The same idea is further presented in the mantra number 13. That is what we are seeing. Eched Vang Manasi Pragyaha, resolving the Vak to Manas, and Manas to Buddhi, and Buddhi to Mahanatma, Hiranyagarbha, and that to Shantatmani, resolution. Resolution means seeing the fact, understanding and appreciating it. That is the resolution. Resolution, not the physical resolution. So this is what is called Nididhyasana. This Nididhyasana method is given. This is the Atma Vichara. This is the self-inquiry. Just by hearing, do self-inquiry. Who am I? We cannot do anything. Who am I? What inquiry is possible? Who am I? What it means is understanding the root of the thought I. Understanding from where the thought, the I comes. That is the Laya Prakriya. This is what this mantra only talks about that. Laya Prakriya, Pravilapana Prakriya. Understanding that I am the Adhisthana of everything. That is the purpose of doing the Atma Vichara, the self-inquiry. Who am I? Just who am I, the sentence. With that, you cannot inquire. That sentence, with that sentence, what inquiry is possible? That Vakya alone, what inquiry is possible? With that Vakya alone, what inquiry is possible? The I being what it is, how are you going to do inquiry? Shastram helps you. Shastram tells how to do Nididhyasanam also. This is the mantra, that mantra which talks about Nididhyasanam. Why should we do Nididhyasanam? By Shramanam alone, Jnanam happens. Yes. If Adhikaritvam is there, then Shravana Matrena Jnanam Bhavati. But there are some Pratibandhas. There are some doubts. Therefore, we need to do Mananam and Nididhyasanam. And Nididhyasanam removes all the habitual errors, and Mananam removes all the doubts. Therefore, Mananam followed by Nididhyasanam, it helps in having the Jnana Nishta. Jnana being there by Shravanam alone. Now, for Jnana Nishta, Nididhyasanam is important. And the Nididhyasanam, a method is prescribed here. Laya Prakriya, Pravilapana Prakriya. The purpose of this Prakriya is to understand that I am the Adhisthana of everything. This is how the mantras of this Upanishad unfold the Vastu and helps the sadhaka to pursue Nididhyasanam. This is what we have been saying in all the previous classes. And we are looking at this mantra. This mantra says, Prajnaha, that is Dhiraha Viveki. Viveki is a Viveki. Prajnaha means here we can take it as a Viveki. It's not a Jnani. It's a Jnani, but not Jnana Nishta. For Jnana Nishta only he does Nididhyasanam. Therefore, he has Jnanam, but not Jnana Nishta. He has gone through Shravanam and Maranam, but still that Nishta has not happened. And for that, the Upanishad prescribes this Nididhyasanam. That person is Prajnaha, is Dhiraha Viveki. So has got this Viparita the Bhavana, for him, this Nididhyasana sadhana is suggested for the person. And Nididhyasana is, when is it done? After Shravanam and Mananam. Nididhyasana is done. And study of Shastram itself takes care of the Mananam and Nididhyasanam. Nididhyasam, you can sit and close your eyes and contemplate on what you have heard, on the sentences of the Shastra. All the possible, the doubts which can go away on inquiry, and the habitual errors what you have, that can be removed through contemplation. So Nididhyasam is translated as contemplation also. You can sit and meditate on the vakyas of the Shastra, Nididhyasana. So when Mananam is study of the Shastram to remove samshayas, all the samshayas. So doubt-free jnana, that is called Mananam. And Nididhyasana is established in the teaching, that is Nididhyasana. So Shastram, study of Shastram itself, it helps. Or after Shravana Mananam, you can do contemplation. You can contemplate on the vakyas of the Shastra, Nididhyasana. So now the person, the prajnaha, the dhiraha, the purusha, yached, he must resolving vak into manas, vak into the manas. Vak manasi, yached vak manasi prajnaha. And we have seen why the grammar part and all. So I don't want to get into the grammar part again. So yached vak manasi prajnaha. Then tad yached jnanam atmani. Tad yached jnanam atmani. So then that is to manaha niyached. Let him resolve that manas to jnana atmani, into buddhi. Jnana atmani is the buddhi. Then jnana atmani, that buddhi be resolved into mahat, that is Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha further to Purusha iti. So we have read this mantra and the Bhashyam, I think last line we have to read. We will quickly read the Bhashyam. Then I will continue with the flow of the Bhashyam. Let us read from the Bhashyam now. Yached niyached upasamharet prajnaha viveki kim vagvacham. I just give a quick translation. That is Viveki, the Dhira Purusha, that one who is as is Viveka, Atmanatma Viveka. So let him resolve the Vak into Manas. Vak stands for other, Vak stands for other Indriyas. Vak is Karmendriya, so it stands for all the Indriyas. So it's only Upalakshan, not only speech, everything. Then Vagatra Upalakshanartha Sarvesham Indriyanam. That's what I said. It's only an Upalakshanam. Then Manasi iti Chandasam Dairyam. Manasi, the word, it is must be Manas. Manasi, the Dirgha is Chandasam. It is a Vedic usage. Shastram uses. Therefore, it is Chandasam Dairyam, Dirgha. Dirghasya bhavaha Dairyam. Then the next line. Tacha manaha yached jnana prakasha swarupe buddhau atmani. Then tat is tatcha manaha, tat manaha, that is that mind. Yached, resolve, prakasha swarupa buddhau, the buddhi, which is prakasha, where jnanam happens, where the knowledge happens. Therefore, prakasha swarupa. Prakasha is in terms of knowledge only. Shining. The knowledge shines in the buddhi. Therefore, prakasha swarupe buddhau atmani manaha yached niyached iti. Then buddhihi hi
बुद्धिः
mana adi karanani
आदिकरणानि
apnoti iti atma pratyaktesham.
आप्नोति इति आत्मा प्रत्यक्षात्
Manaha buddhihi hi mana adi karanani apnoti iti atma pratyaktesham. So manaha, buddhi is intellect, manadi karanani, that is buddhi pervades, manadi karanani apnoti vyapnoti. It pervades the mind and other sense organs, buddhi. Because it is subtle, therefore it pervades, therefore pratyak tesham pratyak, it is subtler than other organs, indriya and mana, etc. Then the next line. All these lines already we have read, so that's why quickly reading, just giving the simple meaning of the vakyas. Jnanam buddhim.
बुद्ध्यं
Jnanam buddhim. Atmani mahati.
महति
Pratamaje niyachet.
यच्चेत्
Pratamajavat.
अत
Swachha svabhavakamatmanaha.
स्वच्छस्वभावकमात्मनः
Vijnanam apadayet ityartaha.
ज्ञानम् आपादयेत् इत्यर्थः
So jnanam, that is buddhim, atmani mahati pratamaje niyachet. Pratamaja, the firstborn. Hiranyagarbha is firstborn. Through Puranas, in Puranas you see as Brahmaji. So this buddhim, this buddhi, prajnaha, the dhiraha purushaha, buddhim, atmani magati niyachet. Atmani magati is Mahanatma, which is Pratamaja, the firstborn. In the firstborn, that is in the Hiranyagarbha, out of Hiranyagarbha only the Prapancha came. So all knowledge is Hiranyagarbha, which is, it has got the knowledge of everything. So Hiranyagarbha is, into Hiranyagarbha, this buddhi is resolved. Resolution in terms of understanding. Understanding this individual buddhi has no separate existence from the total buddhi. At every level, there is an appreciation of the oneness of individual with the total. So dissolving individuality into totality means it's only in terms of understanding. Otherwise, how to resolve? How to dissolve the individual buddhi to the total buddhi? Individual buddhi, that is individual resolution is in terms of understanding, and also we can take the individual buddhi, which is as has got certain defects or impurities. One has to make relatively pure, relatively focused to understand the total. So one has to make the buddhi relatively sharp and focused, one-pointed, to understand the total. So there are some impurities. Raga Dvesha is there. Abhimana is there. Abhimana with the individuality. Yashti Abhimana is that this is what I am is. This is me. This is mine. So Raga is there as well as Dvesha is there. Because this is all because of this Vyashti Abhimana. If Vyashti Abhimana is there, how are you going to appreciate Samashti Abhimana? Therefore, removing this Vyashti Abhimana, and for this Vyashti Abhimana, this Vyashti Abhimana is because of Raga Dvesha. Either you have a liking for it, you have Dvesha for it. So, and dissolving this. Dissolving means giving up the identification with this Vyashti Buddhi. Giving up the identification with the Vyashti Buddhi and appreciating the Samashti Buddhi, that Vyashti Buddhi is not separate from the Samashti Buddhi. That appreciation is very important. That is called resolution is. That is called resolution is. Like Like how you appreciate. You may live in any parts of India. You can say I'm a North Indian or South Indian or whatever it may be. You may be a Keralite or you may be a Kannadiga. But finally, when a problem comes, when China invades, then what is the identity? We are all Indians. So even though you may reside in any parts of India as an individual, having an identification with the members of one's family, individual, and with with the relation with the society, with the state, and but the ultimate identification is I'm an Indian. When a problem comes to the total, that is India, then that person is invoked. That Indian is invoked in the person. That is the identification. That is appreciation. As an individual, you are so and so. You got identification. I am a Kannadiga. I am a Tamilian. But at the total, I am an Indian. This is the appreciation. This is the understanding. This understanding, one has to this Indian, this Kannadiga, both are there. But what is invoked? That is important. And that is called the resolution. Resolution of the individual to the total. You are rising, you're expanding yourself to something higher. That here in terms of understanding. And that is called the resolution. Resolution is understanding based on appreciation. So you give up the limitations of the intellect, giving up the limitations of the individual intellect to understand, to appreciate the total. With the individual intellect, there is a certain identification. And for that, there could be the causes, raga, dvesha, are there. Expanding oneself from that, coming out of all those limitations and appreciating the total, the Hiranyagarbha, which is what is manifesting in all the buddhis. And that, I'm not different from that. That is the resolution. So resolution, this is all this for Nididhyasana. When this understanding comes, then whatever the knowledge a person enjoys, that is your knowledge only. My knowledge is not different from your knowledge. At the Veshti level, at the Samashti level, it is same. My knowledge, whatever vibhuti, whatever talent I enjoy, it is not different from you. It is not different from you. So everybody's talent, everybody's glory is my glory. That is what Krishna also says. Yad yad vibhuti matsatvam sriratru vitameva va iti in Gita. So that is the resolution. So dissolving means dissolving the Veshti to Veshti Buddhi to Hiranyagarbha is this. Similarly, dissolving Hiranyagarbha to Paramatma. Hiranyagarbha to Paramatma. To understand that Hiranyagarbha doesn't exist apart from Paramatma. There is no Hiranyagarbha separately existing. Samashti Buddhi doesn't have existence apart from Paramatma. Pot doesn't exist apart from clay. That is the resolution. Then the next line now. I think that is the line we have to read. Tamcha Mahantam Atmanam Yachet
Mahantam Yachet
Shante
Shante
Sarva Vishesha Pratyastamita Rupe Vikriye
Sarva Vishesha Pratistamita Rupa Vikriye
Sarvantare
Sarvantare
Sarva Buddhi Pratyaya Sakshini
Sarva Buddhi Pratyaya Sakshini
Mukye Atmani.
Mukhya Atmani.
I think this is the line we have to read. Am I right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. From this line, I will explain in detail. You can see. Tamcha Mahantam Atmanam Yachet Shante. Tam cha tam mahantam atmanam. Tam mahantam atmanam is Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha tam mahantam atmanam yachet. One should resolve. That is prajnaha. Let prajnaha resolve. The viveki resolve. What? What is the object of resolution? Mahantam atmanam. That is Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha. Where? Shante. Shante Atmani is there in the Moolam. Shante, Shanta. What is Shanta? Bhashyakara gives. Sarva Vishesha Pratyastha Mita Rupe Avikriye. Sarva Vishesha Pratyastha Mita Rupe. Sarva Vishesha, all Vishesha attributes. Vishesha, all particularization, all or attributes. Pratyastha Mita. Pratyastha Mita. Pratyastha means resolved, which is free from all attributes. Vishesha is that which Vishesha means which is distinguishes. Vishesha means is that which distinguishes one object from the another. That's why it's called an attribute. One object is different from another object. Why? Because the attributes are different. That's called Vishesha. And Sarva Vishesha is all Vishesha, all attributes. Pratyasthamita means negated. Negated means free from. Pratyasthamita means negated. Bhaditaha. Negated. Resolved. So all the attributes are negated. In whom? That is Hiranyagarbha. So Sarva Vishesha Pratyasthamitaha tam. Sarva Vishesha Pratyasthamita Rupe. It is because Shante is there. Therefore, Sarva Vishesha Pratyasthamita Rupe. Not Hiranyagarbha, it is Atma. Sorry. It is Bharita. All the attributes are negated in the Atma. Shante is Shanta is Atma. Not Hiranyagarbha. Sarva Vishesha Pratyasthamita Rupe qualifies Shante. Therefore, it is Atma. All the attributes are negated in whom? That is the Atma. In that Atma, Hiranyagarbha Mahantam Atmanam Yachet. Resolve. One should resolve. The Viveki should resolve this Mahantam Atmanam Hiranyagarbha into Shanta, which is free from all attributes. So for Shante, which is in Saptami, the Bhagavad Pada gives the meaning of the word Shante. Sarva Vishesha Pratyasthamita Rupe Avikriye. Avikriya is Atma. So Shanta is Atma only. So Sarva Vishesha Pratyasthamita. Sarva Visheshaha Sarve Visheshaha Sarva Visheshaha. Sarve Visheshaha. It's a compound. Sarva Vishesha Pratyasthamita. These words are there. Sarve Visheshaha Sarva Visheshaha. Karmadharya Samasa. Then Sarva Visheshaha Pratyasthamitaha Yasmin Tat Sarva Vishesha Pratyasthamitam. Sarva Vishesha Pratyasthamitam. That is, all the Sarva Visheshaha which are negated, which are Bhadita, resolved in whom? In what? That is Sarva Vishesha Pratyasthamitam. Tasmin Sarva Vishesha Pratyasthamite. And Rupam is that Sarva Vishesha Pratyasthamitam Rupam Yasya Atmanaha. Yasya Atmanaha. In that Atma, which is of the nature. Rupam is not the form. Atma doesn't have form. So Rupam means it is of the nature of being free from all the attributes. Attributeless. That is Atma. Nirguna Brahma ityartaha. So Sarva Vishesha Pratyasthamitam Rupam Yasya Saha. That is Atma. In that Atmani, therefore Shante Atmani, the Atma which is free from all the attributes. In that Atma, resolve. Resolve what? This Mahantam Atmanam iti. And I again say the the samasa. So you can note if you want. Sarve visheshaha, sarve visheshaha, it is karmadharya samasa. Sarva visheshaha pratyastamitaha yasmin tat sarva vishesha pratyastamitam. Sarva vishesha pratyastamitam rupam yasya saha, that is atma. So therefore, sarva vishesha pratyastamita rupe, because shante saptami is there, therefore Bhashyakara gives rupe iti. It's a compound. It's a nice compound. So it means the atma, resolving Hiranyagarbha into atma, and the atma which is free from all the attributes. Nirguna atma doesn't have any attributes. The sarvajnatvam, the sarvashaktimatvam, the karma paladata, all these are not the real attributes of atma. Atma is free from all. It is nirgunam brahma. Saguna, when you say saguna brahma, then we endow the atma with all these attributes. Saguna brahma. But atma being free from all the attributes, it is nirguna brahma, and all these attributes are superimposed on the atma. So, and therefore the atma is what? Because it is free from all the attributes, therefore it is avikriya, changeless, free from any modification. It doesn't have any vishesha. No visheshas are there. Therefore, no attributes. Attributes are not there, therefore free from any modification. Asti jayate vardate viparinamate, all the shadbhava vikara is not there. It is changeless. Change is possible only it has parts and visheshas, attributes. It doesn't have. Therefore, avikriye atmani. And sarvantare, sarvanam antare, which is the antara, as antaryami, as the innermost of all, it is. And sarva buddhi pratyaya sakshini, it is the sakshi, the witness of the pratyaya, the cognition, the thoughts of all the buddhi. It is the witness of the thoughts of all the buddhi. That is why Bhagavan knows everything. You may think what you entertain, you not Bhagavan, you only know, but another person also knows always. That is, another person is Bhagavan. You know, and another person who knows is Bhagavan. Because as Sakshi, he knows the thoughts of your buddhi. So, sarva buddhi pratyaya sakshini. Sarvesham buddhinam ye pratyayaha tesham sakshi. Bhagavan is the witness of all the thoughts, the cognitions happening in your buddhi. Therefore, in that mukhya atmani, important atma, not important atma. That is the real. Mukhya means that which is the real reality, the atma. In that Swarupa atma, resolve Hiranyagarbha into that. How to do the resolve? Understanding that this, the cause for this Hiranyagarbha, this buddhi, samashti buddhi also, it is Bhagavan alone. So, Bhagavan, into Bhagavan, everything is resolved. And how to understand this Hiranyagarbha to be resolved? It is appreciating that samashti buddhi, that is Hiranyagarbha, has no separate existence apart from Atma. So this is the resolution of Hiranyagarbha into Atma. Like we resolve pot into clay, the same way Hiranyagarbha is resolved into Atma. I am the Atma in whom the Hiranyagarbha is the resolved. Hiranyagarbha is resolved. Here one step is not given. Mantra doesn't talk, whereas in the mantra number 10 and 11, it is there. We have seen that Hiranyagarbha is resolved into Avyakta. That is Hiranyagarbha. Then in between Hiranyagarbha and Atma, Avyakta is the Avyakta Maya. That is not there, but that can be taken also. Even though mantra doesn't mention that, we can take. Hiranyagarbha is resolved into Avyakta, and Avyakta is resolved into Atma. If you remember the mantra 10 and 11, where we go from one step to another step, some samashti buddhi we set, and samashti buddhi into Avyakta. Avyakta Purushah Paraha, that is what the mantra says also. But here the Avyakta is not mentioned, but we can bring in Avyakta also. That is, Avyakta is Maya. So Hiranyagarbha is resolved into Maya and Maya into Atma. Even though it is not mentioned, we can take Maya as no existence apart from Atma, and therefore resolving Maya into Shanta Atmani iti. This mantra is completed. Then the next mantra starts. That is the 14th mantra, for which the Bhashyakara gives this Sangati that we will read. We will read that in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidham Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. The last part, what I said, the Avyakta. If you don't understand that, please go and check the previous mantra. There you will see one. The Avyakta is there. Magatah Param Avyaktam. There Magat is Hiranyagarbha. Magatah Param is Avyaktam. That Avyaktam is not mentioned in this mantra. So, but we can bring in Avyaktam. Avyakta is Maya. Magatah Param Avyaktam. Avyakta is Param to Magat. That is Avyakta Maya is Param to Magat. And Purusha is Param to Avyaktam. That is Avyaktam I mentioned. If you don't understand, just for your understanding, I am repeating again. Okay. Dhanyavadah.
धन्यवाद विजय.
धन्यवाद
धन्यवाद शरण जी.
धन्यवाद
जी.
धन्यवाद
स्वामी जी.
धन्यवाद.
धन्यवाद.